Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, the Jets, with one of their best wins in a long time, they take down the Eagles 20-14. They break a 12-game losing streak against the Eagles franchise, and we move right into the thick of things in the AFC playoff race as we enter the bye. Come on, baby.
Mike, I don't even know where to begin. If you are here, though, don't forget to hit subscribe. If you have a Google or YouTube account, we're on the road to 1,000. A top 3 win in the past 8 years, I would argue.
Yeah,
it was such a fun game. Even watching the highlights back, there's plays that I forgot about. And I'm like, every player made either an impact play or stood their ground and led to a team win through and through. Now, the defense carried. We'll get into it. Mike, you're at the game. We're going to have questions about whether I can attend games in the future because they're historically great when I don't go when I have season tickets. Mike, take me through the atmosphere, and where do you want to start off with the incredible win that the Jets pulled off?
Dude, I just can't believe Jalen Hurts threw that ball at the end of the game. Holy shit. Like, I mean, and then you watch the replay from his angle, and you just don't know what he's looking at. But look, the Jets defense is in his face all day. The defensive line needed to play a great game. Obviously, without your starting corners, they did. The backup corners were out of their minds. Craig James can date my daughter if he wants when I have her. What the hell? But yeah, the atmosphere was great. I mean, there were a lot of Eagles fans there. It just is what it is. People live here,
Right.
so that's fine. And honestly, the Eagles fans weren't being super annoying, which was nice because it would have gotten weird. But man, the pick, it was one of those games too where it was similar to the Vikings game last year, where a lot of good things happened for the Jets, especially after the beginning of the game, and you just kept getting closer, and you almost score, and you almost score, and you just right there, and it was 14 to 12, and Zach Wilson gets sacked with like 4 minutes left on the Jets like 40-yard line. You're like, man, how is we going to get the ball? The defense is going to stop them again?
Mm-hmm.
And they did, and you got that play, and then you finally get to explode, and it was very, very fun.
Yeah, and it very much felt like a game where at the end of the fourth quarter, we're going to be 2-4. There's some momentum. We've played 2 Super Bowl caliber teams tough, didn't win them. The offense needed that one extra gear, one extra step to get us there, and the throw happens. And Mike, I was with an Eagles fan during the game. Drew from New Jersey said it best. His body like levitated. Like something happened in that moment that you couldn't believe he threw the ball. But just to get us in that fourth quarter, so many guys on defense deserve their flowers. The secondary, having 4 cornerbacks down, Bryce Hall, Craig James.
Dude, Craig James was really good.
Impressive. The pass breakup to save points was awesome.
What
in
a
the end zone.
Play. He looked just like Bless Austin. I kept tweeting. I was like, Bless Austin with the pass breakup.
And then, Mike, the defensive line, the biggest takeaway in the first half was they just couldn't wrap up Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So many times.
What crazy plays Hurts, man. He's so good. I mean, he didn't have a great game yesterday, but when he's stiff-arming, I think it was Jermaine Johnson or JFM, and you make a throw right in the first drive, make a throw right on the money on the sideline. Whew.
That was on a third down, too. It was a great play. Yeah. And Mark Sanchez said it was like trying to catch a salmon covered in Vaseline was Jalen Hurts. But I'm okay with it. Was a horrible tackling half, honestly, through and through.
Even Matt, to your point on the bullshit overturned touchdown, the Jets had Hurts on like the 3-yard line, and he just slithers through Vaseline.
And the refs is a good. Let's pause for the refs real quick. I hate being the guy that complains about the refs. It's not fun. I don't think Jalen Hurts got in. And every time in the NFL, there's not a definitive proof to overturn the call on the field, they always stick with it. And I'm against that thought. I'm with, if you are 51-49, I would trust a camera over an 80-year-old referee in the sideline. But you made it a point that you have to keep the call on the field. And there's no clear evidence of him crossing the goal line. Now,
how do you change that call? How do you change it?
And what they kept saying on the broadcast is, well, they have angles that we don't have. Well,
Show
then
us
on
the
the
angle.
well, then on the AJ Brown catch later in the game, which if I'm an Eagles fan or if the Jets had that catch, my argument is give me proof. And that's fair, but be consistent. There wasn't enough proof on the Hurts play. So two brutal moments in the game that go against the Jets. And then, of course, in the red zone on the Lazard blindside block, I saw the flag immediately, and I was like, I cannot believe it's going to be on the Lazard block. He was looking at the guy.
He was looking right at him. It's not a blindside block. What is it? A looking at him block? It doesn't even make sense.
But the good news is we have to talk about the good. The refs are horrible. They should be sent to prison. I hate all the NFL refs. But the Jets win the game, and I need to talk about the defensive line. Jermaine Johnson calls 2 interceptions. He calls 2.
Jermaine Johnson's insane. He's a psychopath.
He played so out of his mind. It was unbelievable. And then the best part about the pick to Quinnen, he came from like the other side of the field. Like he was lined up on the left tackle, and he runs all the way across and blows up the screen, causing the pick. And then obviously the crazy hit at the end where Bryce Hall has the pick. Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff sack and a half, Quentin Jefferson, Quinnen. Defensive line out of their mind, Mike.
Dude,
out of their mind.
The Bryce Hall pick was so good because you could see it coming from a mile away, especially from where we sit.
He caught it like here though. Like he didn't. It was like I was like, if you rewatch it, I'm nervous he's gonna drop the ball.
Yeah.
And I know.
It's like too easy. Like one of those where it's just so wide open, you might drop it. But
right.
The Hurts gets hit and the ball's fluttering around. I'm like, pick, right to Hall. But man, dude, the Jets are using Jermaine Johnson like Micah Parsons now. And just because he has number 11, it looks like it. So he's running around being an absolute psycho. That bull rush is insane. I mean, it's odd. Quinnen has, half of a sack this year? But he seems to have a big impact anyway. Quincy Williams is just insane.
How many tackles for loss? He shot even on the final drive of the game, the third down, comes out of nowhere out of a cannon. Yeah. And Solid does the play. And then Mosley's all over the field. Mosley's all over the field. The punch fumble that he had was such a sick fucking play. Mosley and Williams as a linebacker duo might be my favorite linebacker duo we've seen in 15 years. They're just so cool to watch play football. And that was a huge question mark going into the year. Can Quincy rise up to actually be a linebacker too? Is Mosley going to fall off? Both of them have been incredible going into
and Sherwood stopped Hurts on the first play, but he's not, of course, on the same level as those guys. Mosley has looked much faster this year too.
Yeah.
It feels like,
And Hurts ended with 8 carries for 47 yards. It didn't feel like that.
No.
It really didn't. I feel like they did a good enough job containing him.
I was with a couple of Eagles fans too, and they were saying they wanted Hurts to run more. And you would think that they would. I mean, I understand their game plan is probably to throw more yesterday when you have all the Jets corners out, which makes sense. But the Jets did a really good job. That was the best the run defense looked all year in general. And what a difficult team to stop with all these maniacs. Lane Johnson going out helped, but
I saw an Eagles guy tweet about Lane Johnson being out and how that was a huge disadvantage for the Eagles, not knowing that the Jets might be without obviously quarterback 1, 4 cornerbacks. They're missing 2 offensive linemen now.
Yeah, what's up with Tippmann? I didn't really see. They said he might be out.
And this is actually gamesmanship. There's a difference between like openly being wrong about injuries and gamesmanship. He was like, we'll figure it out after the bye week. It doesn't look like he has no update, which is fine.
That's fine. They're not playing, but I know so he's going to play and he'll be out for 9 weeks. It's so annoying. But at least you figure you're definitely going to have Sauce back because he said he felt good anyway yesterday. Reed, you would imagine, is going to play in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Dude, it's like the Super Bowl. You get the 2 weeks. Oh, so nice.
It feels really good. And it's a needed time for a bye, to your point. You need guys to get back healthy.
Rodgers come back week 12. Dude, that report is insane in the best way. Like, why not? Dude is standing on the field throwing the football. Why can't he play in 9 weeks? He should be. He should come back earlier.
The fact that he was out there throwing is hilarious. I couldn't believe it when they showed the
insane. Dude, probably Joe Douglas like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, go sit down. And he's out there throwing. He can do whatever he wants.
Hey, did you watch? You've seen the highlights on Twitter. Did you watch the actual game, like 15-minute recap?
No, I haven't. I didn't watch.
Do you know how close Zernline was to missing the first field goal?
Well, they played it. It was funny because they played it on the big screen. It's where we sit, as you know. You can't really tell. So you're like, all right, whatever. And we both hate watching field goals, so I like go do something else while there's a field goal happening.
Yeah.
But they replayed it and we're like, did that go in? Did it go in?
It It did go in. It's like the uprights go to the sky, and if you get over whatever, but in the angle of TV, it really felt like you watched the ball go in front of it first. So that was hilarious. But again, give Greg Zuerlein props, like, making clutch field goals where Jake Elliott misses a 38-yarder that changes the outcome of the game.
Completely changed the game. If Jake Elliott makes that kick, the Jets are down 5. The Eagles probably run the ball on that third down play, or at least like you can't force it. You punt the ball to the Jets with like a minute left, no timeouts, and you got to get a touchdown. Because even if that ball is incomplete, the Jets still have like a minute and 30 seconds and a timeout. Or no, probably no timeouts. They had no timeouts, but it would have been incomplete anyway. And then you just need a field goal. So,
and think about Devontae Smith scoring that touchdown with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. They're not going to score another point for the rest of the game. It's unbelievably impressive. And I think we got to go to Zach real quick.
Yeah.
Not a perfect game, not a bad game. My favorite thing that happened is it really felt like we were that close. And Salah said it multiple times, like we just were almost there to turn the tide. But Mike, on a 2nd and 10, he rolls out left and dives head first to get the first down. Like that type of play.
They didn't give him a first down, and he did get it too.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. They just sneaked it the next play.
There's another weird time that happened too, where Breece Hall should have gotten a first down, and it was 2nd and 1, and the Jets did like a play fake, and I think that was a shuffle pass play. That was a
great play too, yeah.
Also, we'll go unnoticed. Breece Hall had an unreal spin move on 3rd and 1 where he would have,
didn't he?
He would have not gotten it. And then the other Zach play is a 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
Mike, he stayed in that pocket and threw a laser beam to Randall Cobb.
I thought Cobb died, and Cobb pretended to be like down, and then just like got up and flexed. Dude, it was funny. The 2-point conversion was hilarious because I went to my buddy who I was at the game with, and he was like, "We're like, that was huge." We're like, actually, it's not that important.
In hindsight, yeah, it's from 4 to 6.
We're like, oh, that was all right. Yeah, this is good. But dude, no, Zach, I thought played well. When we said in the beginning of the season, we just need a professional quarterback, get rid of Zach, and we were very patient. We waited like 30 games. And then we said, this is enough. We've seen enough. It's not real NFL football. You can go back and watch our videos, but you should watch these because they're more happy. And that's all we said. We said we need a guy who could just do normal things, and that's what he's been doing the last 3 weeks. 19 for 33 with 190 yards against a very good defense is fine, and he would have had a chance for more things. He did miss a couple guys, like the one he threw like a jump ball to Garrett Wilson at one point in the end zone, which is fine. Do that every single time. C.J. Uzomah was wide open.
Really?
Like not even anyone in the vicinity, but not looking at it, which it is what it is. Depends on the play call. Stuff like that. It feels like on 3rd and long to just have literally no chance to get a first down a lot of the time. If it's like 3rd and 7 or more, it's very, very difficult. Which, it's hard in the NFL to get those, but I feel like it's been all season with that. But in general, look, made some really nice plays. The throw to Garrett Wilson on the sideline was unbelievable. He would have had a chance for another touchdown if without the Lazard blindside block. You're on 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. It turns into 2nd and 23 on the fucking 43-yard line, which is ridiculous. And I don't even know. I guess it's because of personal foul versus a.
That's a new rule. Remember what happened in the preseason? I was talking about it. It's a minor versus a major yardage. No, but you're right. That play on 3rd and 20, though, I'm happy to actually give a shot. Maybe there's a PI. Maybe something happens.
Yeah.
Like 3rd and 15.
That's not the play where Uzomah was open, by the way. Different play.
Okay.
Yeah. It was earlier in the game. And then
is that the one you rolled out right and just threw it like 40 rows?
Not that play either. I got to find the right play. It was a third other play. But yeah, I mean, Lazard dropped the ball after the ridiculous penalty on him, which fucked Zach also. You had a chance at a first down there. I thought Wilson played fine. It's what you need to do. Eventually, it's going to be hard to keep winning these games when, you're playing against good quarterbacks and you're winning the turnover battle 4-0 somehow against these guys. Like, you need a little bit more offense, but maybe more Breece. I thought Breece had more than 37 rushing yards, but he didn't.
He also had 54 yards
receiving,
and Garrett 8 for 90.
Breece and Garrett are just superstars. They're absolute superstars. Becton is playing like an absolute maniac.
The point is unbelievable. The point.
I can't the guy point at him. That's what he's gonna do to you if you.
Which is a taunt. Is it not a taunting penalty? Like in hindsight, it's probably hilarious to do it in a big moment of the game, but
the middle of the play. The offensive line has been great. Like there's been time to throw. There seems to be holes in the running game. When they do that toss play to Brees, it works every single time.
Every time. And you pretend like you're going far out, and he does like one minor cut inside.
And he just goes inside. And then he does that move too where he keeps stiff arming people and accelerating at the same time. Remember he did it in the Packers game last year? It was the first time he did it. We're like, what the fuck? He like teleported forwards. My dad made a good point too. He's like, why aren't the Jets using Bawden? I thought they did run the ball pretty well when they used the fullback in the last game. It must have been some kind of matchup in this game because they went a lot of times they went 3 tight ends in this game. So what you have like basically 8 offensive linemen, Zach the running back and Garrett, and I think they threw it on all 3 of those plays, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and Mike, we got to talk about the end of the game. It literally doesn't matter at all, but there was a hot conversation going on, debating whether Hall should have scored or not.
So I have a good take about this. I think you can give me yours if you want. I just rambled.
Real quick, my take was I get both. I would much rather score and not have them get because in theory you could score on the 3rd and 1 and they would have a minute left and you scored a touchdown. But I don't want to take
100% right.
I don't want to take a chance of him having. And I again in the moment I was saying I see both. Maybe you go down because the game wasn't over at that point. Now I'm thinking about it, but Jake Elliott can make it from 58. He's done it multiple times in his career to end a game, and they would win outright with a minute left. And against the secondary that's been so good all game, if you get 2 20-yard passes, game's over. So I'm fine with scoring. You
have to score because they had 2 timeouts. You had to score, and the Eagles wouldn't have let him. I don't know if they were letting him score. It like looked like it, but
they definitely were.
Yeah, it made sense. But that's the thing, like. Right, you're going to take a chance that you have 1 play to score a touchdown, or Jalen Hurts has to get, 30, 40 yards and kick a field goal? Exactly. Like, there's definitely enough time for them to get a field goal. So I would have 100% went for the touchdown and make them go all the way down the field. It sucks that it was the first play, but what are you going to do? You go down, they use a timeout. You have to do it. I would 100% score. That's why if I'm the Eagles, I don't know if I would have done that.
Saleh said today he wouldn't have. Like Saleh said, if I was on the defense side, I would have. In his press conference, he said he wouldn't have.
Yeah, because I mean, you give yourself a chance. The Jets are 3rd and 1 from the goal line. If you stop it, you just need a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I was happy he scored, but of course, then you're still nervous. Man, so I thought they were going to throw a flag on the last the bomb.
I know.
I just thought they were going to throw it. After the replay, it wasn't a flag, but I'm like, dude, if he throws a flag here, and everyone like waited like 10 seconds before celebrating, so it was a little anticlimactic. We're like, look around.
I think there's a sneaky, really pivotal part and turning point of the game. So it's like 13 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. I think it's 14-9 at this point. And Jalen Hurts is at like the Jets 40 and has a chance to run for 10, 15 yards. And instead throws to a wide open Devonta Smith. No one within like 40 yards. And Devonta drops the ball.
Oh, over the middle?
Over the middle.
Yeah.
And if he catches that ball, the Eagles are probably on the 15, 20-yard line and either going to get points or, field goal or touchdown. Drops the ball. Next play, that's the Huff Jefferson combo sack. And completely flip the field. And they're back at their own 40 and have to punt. And then that's when Garrett Wilson had the crazy catch on the sideline and we flipped the field again.
Yeah.
That play, I really think changed the entire game because I think that the Eagles use that momentum, potentially go up 21-9 there, and then we get the ball to 25. That was a huge drop by Devonta Smith, and then a huge sack by Huff and Jefferson right after.
Yeah, they finally got him. They finally got Hurts. I mean, no, I agree. And the Jets have been so good in the 3rd quarter this year. I feel like we've had the ball a lot. And the first half defense has been very underwhelming. And you don't want to talk poorly about the defense in this game because they were insane. But it would be nice. I was looking. It is interesting. The Jets are like they're 13th in points allowed, which is terrific. It's fine, especially with some the offense hasn't really helped. But they're like 25th in rush defense and 12th in pass defense is fine, but it's in terms of yards. So there's still stuff to tighten. There's still room to tighten up, but man, like to hold these quarterbacks to these games, man. And Saleh just talking shit. I wasn't expecting it. Saleh's talking his shit.
It's funny. He also the Dak Prescott game.
He didn't acknowledge it.
But I think Mike Nash, right? He's a good follow on Twitter. He was talking about good quarterbacks. So he was like as a joke, like he wasn't counting Prescott. Even though we like him, it's a good. I think he talks shit a little bit more than I expected. I agree. When he said that, I was like, oh my god. But
what was the exact quote? We faced a gauntlet of great quarterbacks, and we've
embarrassed them all.
Yeah, sick. Good quote. He's fired up.
Mike, we're gonna play a game. Going into the bye week, 3-3. Unbelievable being 3-3 here. Unbelievable. Couldn't even hard to imagine. Heading into the bye week, I want a letter grade from you. I tweeted this out and very quickly has like 90 replies and 10 quote tweets.
Sick brag, dude.
Well, it's hard to do because people have to copy and paste. People have to copy and paste this tweet, so it's interactive. So I'm happy that people are actually doing it.
Yes.
Did you see the tweet?
I did, but I didn't answer it.
Letter grade, Zach Wilson.
Going to the bye week is a B plus, but A plus over my expectations.
So B plus, and that counts the unfortunate New England game.
Yeah. This is I completely gave up, and I never do that. And I really thought it was it. I would have released him 3 weeks ago. I would have cut him. I swear to God. I mean, not for cap purposes and whatever, but he just wouldn't be on like doing anything. And he said all the right things. He's playing. He's been fine. It feels like the good things are going to happen on offense sometimes. I just didn't think any of this was possible. I really didn't. I didn't think he could complete 60% of his passes. And he's doing it for the season now. He is 60.4%.
Yeah, and I feel like it helps that he most times is a decent pocket. Like Schweitzer and Mitchell had a fine game coming on and blocking for him. So B plus for Zach. I would probably go B, and I think you're a B plus because to your point, expectations versus reality. If he was a starting quarterback going into the year, we're probably like B minus, and it changes based on that.
Yes.
Coach Robert Saleh.
A minus, baby.
Wow.
Good for Bobby Salad. You know what I mean?
You like his game management. You like his game management. When they kick, when you want to kick, they kick. When they want to punt or go for it, they do it. You are a big game manager guy by Saleh.
My main thing that bothers me with Saleh is sometimes he's inflexible, which we talk about a lot. But in terms of his game plan, it's fine. What are you going to do? You're in every game. You're beating or in every game with these Super Bowl contending teams. I'm happy with it. Very happy. I think that the Jets have been disciplined too. It seems like we have a lot of penalties, but they're just all in the worst time ever that aren't sometimes our fault. The Jets are like fourth best in least penalties, so happy.
Nathaniel Hackett.
B minus.
Probably around that.
Yeah, I mean, like, the offense has been okay. You could probably give more. I would give the ball more to Brees, and maybe this is on Saleh too, where like you have to use Michael Carter all these times on third down. Who cares? Put Brees in more. He's a good receiver too. He can't pass block. Like, what is it? And Carter keeps dropping the ball. I don't know. It just takes an element away, but stuff like that.
I got killed for the what was he cooking same game parlay this week. People are like, that's not going to hit. It was 120-1, and Garrett Wilson overhit. Jets minus 2.5 hit. Dalvin Cook was 2 rushing yards away from his, and then the other one was the Carter touchdown. Which, in theory, what if on the give up touchdown at the end they just handed it to Carter instead of Hall? Very close to winning 3K again. Very close.
And I am happy with the offensive line, so you have to give Hackett credit for that.
Yeah, and who thinks that you're going to lose your starting quarterback 4 games into the year, and then 4 plays into the year, and then your entire offensive line was rearranged, decimated with injuries, flipping people around. So,
and then one other point with Hackett is the red zone offense has not been good, and that's supposed to be his specialty. So that I think some of that's on Zach too. There's been guys running open in the end zone. He just doesn't throw it sometimes. It is what it is, but fine.
Might be the highest grade yet. Jeff Ulbrich.
Oh, dude, what can you say? I mean, the only thing too with the Jets defense, they're letting up a lot of yards and a lot of long drives, but no touchdowns. They're still probably in the top 5 in touchdowns allowed as a defense. Can't complain about the defense though, especially after yesterday. I mean, What a sick job by the backup guys. I will give him an A-.
I like it. O-line.
O-line, also an A-. If AVT is healthy, you go higher at some point. But man, like this really, like you're moving people. It feels like the Jets are very sturdy. They're giving clean pockets. There's room to run. I'm very happy with the offensive line. Becton has just been awesome, and it's so good to see. We need Tittman to come back. Could be a killer. If you go the end of the season with McGovern, Schweitzer, and Mitchell as the right side of your line, it's going to be tough to hold this up. But
it's fair. It's fair, and it sounds like Tittman will likely be out multiple weeks, based on what Salah said in the presser. Mike, give me pass catchers, wide receiver, and tight end grades for the year.
Garrett Wilson's an A+. He's an absolute superstar. Everyone else that's a wide receiver, I think, has been disappointing. Gibson is cool, but he doesn't really do anything in the passing game. I don't know what the fuck's the problem with Hardman. Randall Cobb just doesn't do anything, and Alan Lazard, I think, has been a little disappointing. What, like, he's okay.
Yeah. I think okay is fair with Lazard, but I really do feel as if there's so many times the run game he'll make a cool block. He'll have like multiple first downs. I feel move the drive. He's not afraid to go over the middle.
He's okay.
And I think okay is fair for Lazard. Okay. I think okay is fair, but again, he didn't have the best quarterback play for.
No, and it is what it is. But doesn't ever feel like he's wide open, which is not really his game. He has made a couple of annoying drops. I'm not gonna blame him for that penalty because that was a perfect play. Good locker room guy. I like to have him, but should he be our number 2 receiver? I don't think so. Not good enough.
I was thinking about it too. If you were to trade for I'm just throwing out names like D-Hop, Garrett Wilson, just throw or not Garrett Wilson, D-Hop, Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Just go after like these guys. I feel like the Jets are nervous that Zach Wilson's not going to get them the ball. Like there's going to be something weird that they're very comfortable having like Garrett Wilson be 14 targets sometimes and Lazard and the tight ends. Like, can you have another high volume receiver in that group? I hope yes. I think you need someone else.
I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Is that like, am I looking into it?
No, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. Because right now I was looking before, Garrett Wilson has 55 targets. I think Conklin's second with like 32, which is cool. Like cool distribution. You should do that. Yeah. It would be helpful. But yeah, it's like Zach will have to throw for then like 250 yards a game to satisfy all these receivers. And also, I think the tight ends have been very good so far. Ruckert has been awesome. Conklin is cool. He's solid, steady, producing.
Conklin having a better year than Elijah Moore.
That's awesome.
Receptions, yards, everything.
Fuck Elijah Moore. Piece of shit.
So, grade, pass catchers.
Pass catchers in general, I'll give a B. I think everyone's disappointing except for Garrett and Conklin. Lazard a little bit disappointing, and go trade for Devontae Adams and get him ready for Rodgers when he comes back. Give Rodgers even more impetus to return.
Defensive line,
A+. What are you gonna do? All psychopaths. Finally, look, the Jets only have 13 sacks this year, which I don't know where that ranks in the league, but I know the Jets have allowed 20 sacks. But just constant pressure. That number is going to go up as the year goes on. I'm very, very impressed with Jermaine Johnson. Looks like he's going to be a stud. Bryce Huff is a stud. Quincy Williams is a stud. The veteran guys, Woods and Jefferson, have been really good. Clemens is the one who's been like a little bit kind of out of the rotation. JFM has been good this year. There's noticeable pressure. That's how you beat good quarterbacks. Very, very happy with the defense.
And the pressure is leading to fumbles. The pressure is leading to tip balls and get hit while they're throwing the balls live. So hard to argue A+ there. Linebackers, Mike, a group that you were most concerned with going into the year, that we were all concerned with. Where are we at?
This is another, like, what it could be. It has to be an A or an A+. Like, you have two guys. Mosley is a Pro Bowl candidate, and Quincy Williams is an All-Pro candidate. And I never thought that Quincy Williams could do this. We thought we're like, just go smash people, be a good run stuffer, make a couple of tackles for loss. He's covering dudes. He's covering Devontae Smith on some plays.
Yeah.
Like that, and he's in his face. He's insane.
Travis Kelce. That's a good point. He covers Devontae Smith and Travis Kelce, two completely different pass catchers, and he's covered both of them this year.
He's playing like Luke Kuechly. Like, he's all over the place. You throw the ball, he's there. He's recovering fumbles. If he dropped that fumble, which he did drop the fumble. Oh my God.
I like.
I thought it was gonna be a touchdown at first, and then I thought
it was a touchdown on live. Like I couldn't tell the field, obviously, but crazy. Okay. Two more. Secondary.
Secondary. The secondary's been good. I'll give it a B plus. Like, so Sauce is been terrific by all accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not by all accounts. Not by some people give him shit for no reason. But you need a little more. You like some more playmaking. Like DJ Reed has no passes defended. Sauce has 3, no picks. Brutal drop in the Cowboys game. They've been.
He should have picked a Hail Mary at the end of the Broncos game.
Should have picked the Hail Mary. It would be nice. The Michael Carter's been great. Whitehead is having a very good year. He made a great play at the end of the game too. He smashed someone with perfect timing on the last drive.
That was very, very close to being early. Very close.
It looked like he timed it up well, but I was nervous.
No, Mike, it was like a half second, maybe a quarter of a second early. But Quincy also dropped a pick. I don't know if you remember that play in the fourth quarter too.
He did, yes.
Quincy when jumped the route
and right at him.
Yeah, and it was tough. It was like he was in the middle of like there's like 3 guys in one area, but that would have been.
I don't think Quincy thought he was going to throw it. I think was part of it.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? And he did it. I mean, I would give it a A minus, B plus range secondary.
All right, and then special teams unit.
A plus. What are you going to do? Look at the. First of all, Xavier Gipson wins the game with a punt return. The punt coverage yesterday was insane.
Irv Charles, what the fuck is he doing? He's insane.
Who was that guy returning kicks? Because he was getting destroyed on the Eagles. And I mean, Zerline's unbelievable. Morstead is unbelievable. The kick returns in football have been taken out a little bit with these new rules, so hasn't been too much. But just flipping the field the right way, very, very impressive. Defense and special teams have been off the charts, and the offense is just not that good. But you have the offensive line's playing well enough, and you have 2 studs in Priest and Garrett. You're in a good spot. I'm feeling so good, dude. Mike, that was awesome.
I cannot believe they're 3-3. Cannot believe it.
So good.
We have to measure ourselves and remember last year we're like, we need to get through this gauntlet, and then we have like the Giants coming up. No, beat the shit out of the Giants. Do your business.
Well, I want to go through the next. I think you could break down the rest of the season in 2 pieces, Matt. I want your take. The next 5 games are against the Giants on the road, but it's really a home game. And then you have, let's go through the exact schedule. So these 5 games, I think, are so again, people are talking about the gauntlet in the beginning of the year and then the schedule's easier. I think the next 5 games are difficult still. So you're playing as the Giants, then you play the Chargers on Monday Night Football at home. You go to Vegas to play the Raiders, which are also 3-3. We said that's a sneaky tough game to start the year, but winnable game. And then you're in Buffalo and then home against Miami. So 5 games, 3 teams figure to be playoff teams of those 5 with the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Bills. What are your thoughts?
I'll break it down for you. If you go 4-1, you're going to be a playoff team. If you go 3-2, you're heading towards the playoffs. If you go 2-3, season's not over, need some urgency. If you go 1-4, serious problems. 5-0, 0-5, obviously different spectrums, but I think the money spot you probably want to be is 3-2.
Yeah.
Jet fans probably look at that and say, we're going to go 4-1. Right. And the 5th game is the Dolphins at home, right? On Black Friday. So
it is. Look, it's a winnable game. The Jets match up well against the Dolphins on paper, when you have Sauce and Reed against those maniac receivers, but the Dolphins are very scary this year.
I think so. Break it down to the Giant game. I think it's be a defensive battle. The Giants played great defense last night. They're not able to move the ball. If their O-line is still banged up, Mike, and Daniel Jones is still potentially neck injury, and Jets need to take that win. I think we all agree on that. And then the Chargers flying west to east. I feel like that usually has some type of impact. I feel like I always say that, and the Jets will lose like an AFC West team at home. But who have the Chargers played this year so far? So they played Dallas.
They lost to the Dolphins in that ridiculous game to start the year, 36-34. Yep. Then they lost to the Titans in overtime in another strange game. Then they beat the Vikings in a close game, and they beat the Raiders. They play the Cowboys tonight. They had a bye also. But the problem is you're playing a team with a specimen of a quarterback again. So that's a difficult game. in prime time. The Giants game, like you said, if Jones and Andrew Thomas and John Michael Schmitz are all playing, there's still a playoff team last year with a similar roster in a rivalry intense game that's essentially must win for them or they're done. So it's like, and then you go again across the country. I don't know if Jimmy G is going to play, which is a big factor.
Another huge factor. But
Huge
before
factor.
the Chargers game, like that, just if we
Yeah.
stop there, they have Kansas City. So they played tonight, right? Whatever. Then they have Kansas City. So you're playing 2 back-to-back Super Bowl caliber teams. You have to go to Missouri to play that game. You have to come back home and play it down to your competition against the Bears, right? After the Jets game, you have Detroit coming to town. So, like, there is, like, a weird pocket where Missouri back, New York back to play the good Lions team. Like, I think it is a game that give me your best quarterback to throw at us. Give us Herbert, give us Hurts, give us Allen, give us Mahomes. I think they're going to score 17 points. Can the offense during the bye week find something, lock Hackett, Rodgers, Wilson, the entire offensive personnel in Florham Park? Don't let them leave. So you have 14 days to be a team that puts up 21 to 23 to 24 points a game, and you automatically will make the playoffs. Can you do that? Can you score in the red zone? And I'm not afraid of a Chargers team. I think the Vegas is much tougher to go to Vegas and win that game if Jimmy G's playing than I do against the Chargers. So
it's close.
Go 3-2. Go 3-2.
The Chargers, you still have Eckler and you have Keenan Allen, all these crazy guys on offense. And Herbert has the ability to just have one of those games where he throws for 400 yards, even if everyone's blanketed. But, yeah, so look, the Giants game is obviously winnable, and you should expect to win. The Chargers game is tough, but it's winnable. Same with the Raiders. You'd hope you split the Bills and Dolphins season series. That's your hope going into the year, split 1-1. It's going to be tough to win in Buffalo, but they've showed that they're beatable, and they're, and the Jets have their number. So it's tough. But so, if you're 3-2, you're feeling good, you're 6-5 after that. Then the last 5 games, the last 6 games is where you really can make your money, Matt. Where you have after the Black Friday Dolphins game, you're home against the Falcons, who are an interesting matchup for a couple of reasons, where the Jets struggle against the run and are better against the pass. But you play home against the Falcons, home against the Texans, at Miami, home against Washington, at Cleveland, at New England. That's all 6 are winnable games.
Yeah. And the only thing that scares me in that stretch is obviously having to go down to Miami, but we'll get a good measurement stick against them on Black Friday, right? If we just can't keep up with their pace, then we'll kind of know that game in Miami is going to be an 80-20 game. But if the Jets win on Black Friday or look super competitive against them, why not? The Browns defense on the road sick, but again, that same defense Joe Flacco carved up last year and had a decent game, and then we end up having the miracle ending. But Mike, let's go 4-1. Let's not even make it a choice at the end of the year that you have to win games. Every time we play a game, the Chargers might have Eckler and all these insane guys, but 5 and 6 cornerbacks are shutting down AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, and their run game. So, Mike, let's fucking win some football games. If you did make it this far, we appreciate it as always. What a time to be a Jet fan.
Dude, the Jets have proven now that they could play with any team in football. You don't want to see the Jets. That's 3. It's not a fluke. 3 sick teams you're in the last seconds with. And imagine, look, if the Jets make the playoffs, even if Rodgers doesn't make his miracle comeback, which, holy shit, would be just so cool. I wouldn't want to play the Jets. You don't want to see this team.
You got to extend Huff this week, Mike.
You do.
What would the contract be?
I don't know. I feel like this is just strange. Well, the thing is, he's playing well against the run, but do it. Yeah, the earlier you do it. And the thing is, Huff only has 2.5 sacks on the year, and he's obviously made a bigger impact than that. So, do it now. You're right. If he had 7 sacks right now, he'd probably want a crazy contract.
So say I'm way off on this number. I'm going to throw a number out there. It could be $5 million too high, $5 million too low. What does 3 for 45 get me? What is 15 per year? Is it just not even close to the right number?
What was the JFM contract?
I think it was 13.5 per year, maybe a little more.
Because it does sound high off the bat. I mean, the value's there.
So it sounds high. I thought it was too low.
It sounds high, but is it low?
I don't know.
Is it should we get him should we give him like $70 million? Like I don't know. Can we do that? Is that too much?
Just don't be the Henry Anderson JFM where once we give that mid-year extension, they get like a half sack for the final like 20 weeks. Oh God.
Fuck
All right,
Henry
Mike.
Anderson.
We good to go?
I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna go 10-7 and make the playoffs. I feel so good.
I feel great. All right.
It feels so good.
Apple picking for the bye week. Get it out of the way, boys. Get it
I'm
done.
going to Miami this weekend. Come on.
You going to the
I'm
game?
going to Miami Clemson. I'm going to do some scouting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have Miami's team over, and that Mario Cristobal disaster class kills the team over.
Kills the matchup, dude. It would have been they lost to UNC last week, so it is what it is.
But 6-1 with over under 7.5 wins. Now they have Florida State on the road. They have Clemson still. Like they have a gauntlet. I don't think they can get to 8.
Ugh.
All right. I gotta eat dinner.
Jet up.
Jet up, baby.